Yeah. Run it up, blondo. Run it up, blondo.
Simply from drafting Paolo Banchero, the Orlando Magic came away from draft night as winners in the eyes of various draft experts and NBA analysts. They did what most teams would have done if they were in their situation: take the most skilled scorer and passer in the draft #1 overall. However, lost in all the Banchero mania, the Magic selected another freshman who was a top 10 prospect coming out of high school, according to ESPN, Michigan's Caleb Houstan. The 19-year-old sharpshooter was selected 32nd overall and shouldn't be overlooked at all. He's basically a late first-round pick who would have shot up his draft stock had he not surprisingly skipped the NBA draft combine. The Mississauga, Ontario native didn't meet the expectations of a 5-star recruit at Michigan, and that resulted in his draft stock falling. But there are a lot of factors that goes into why a freshman could struggle in college, from adapting slowly to a new role and system to personal off-court problems. I'm sure the Magic front office took all that into consideration and probably bet on Houston's talent, intangibles, and work ethic instead of going off his underwhelming stats at Michigan. They probably know more about Caleb than most others after, watching him shine just a half an hour up the road at Montverde Academy with a stacked roster. And in this video, I'll try to break down his game, what his role could be on the Magic if he signs, and why he could be a steal with the 32nd overall pick. Like the title says, he's not your typical Magic 2nd round pick of the past half decade. 1, the Magic actually kept his rights, which says a lot about what they think of him, and 2, he's a legit shooting prospect. We could have a valuable spot-up 3D player who could contribute to a contending team down the line, a la Cam Johnson, and he very well could be even more if everything hits perfectly in his development. Perhaps another Klay Thompson, you never know. But yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but there is some untapped potential in his game. And that belief of his potential comes from his smooth game, basketball IQ, size, and the possibility of his frame filling out. Caleb Houstan was one of the youngest players in the 2022 NBA draft. He should be heading to his prime around this time, but instead, he reclassified into the 2021 class and enrolled at Michigan a year early. There's a lot of room for improvement in his game, but also some legit reasons that he could improve on them: his youth and work ethic. The biggest reason to believe in Caleb's future as a productive NBA player is his shooting. The Canadian national has a textbook shooting form and an extremely quick release. That should give Magic fans some optimism about his future as a floor spacer despite shooting a moderate 36% on 170 attempts in college. He doesn't need much time to get a shot off and can adjust his body well and get into a shooting form if he can't catch it clean or initially has a bad angle to shoot. At 6'8" with a high release point, his shot will be hard to contest even against NBA level length. I'm certain that the Magic bought into his shot translating well into the NBA. Houstan excelled as a spot-up shooter at Michigan, and that's primarily what his role is going to be during his first couple of years with the Magic. He's deadly shooting open from both corners and can curl off screens and DHOs. He ranked in the 81st percentile in spot-ups, converting at a 40% clip, and an 88th percentile shooting off handoffs. And it must be a Michigan thing, because like Franz and Mo Wagner, Caleb has an advanced spatial awareness of where to be on the floor off the ball. He knows where to position himself in order to get open and to make it easier for his teammates to pass it to him on time. This is especially evident when he's on the fast break. He was also a solid transition scorer in college, ranking in the 72nd percentile. Further proof of his three-point shot translating well to the NBA is his deep NBA range. From watching his tape, you can see him launch it from way outside the three-point line and doing it with ease. On top of all that, he's also a sufficient cutter off the ball, netting 58% of his attempts on cuts on an average of 1.58 points per possession. And that pretty much sums up Caleb Houstan's offensive game right now. He doesn't provide anything off the dribble or from the mid-range. He doesn't need to have the ball in his hands a lot. He primarily looks to score off cuts or off screens, and will only use a few dribbles if needed to get a shot off. Moving along, as a playmaker, he'll dish out some decent passes when he has space and time. He'll make basic reads off pick and rolls, which Juwan Howard entrusted him to do more often towards the end of the season. What Houstan did well at times at Michigan was drawing defenders in and kicking it out. Now, I don't think he'll generate the same gravity that he did at college in the NBA, but he is a quick decision maker and will make smart reads. His vision is why I believe that he could be more than your average 3-and-D player. His future as a playmaking option, however, will depend on him significantly improving his handles. And that's going to be a crucial swing skill for the newest Magic player. His handles are subpar right now, to be kind. He struggles to create off the dribble and doesn't have any counter moves in his bag other than a basic 1 or 2 dribble pull-up, which he still struggled at converting efficiently. He's basically a great value version of Jabari Smith Jr. right now on offense. And his dribbling is why a lot of people have capped his ceiling as being a 3-and-D player at best. It's up to Jamal Mosley and his staff to work on his handles, and from what I've read, Caleb Houstan has good work ethic and is a gym rat. He doesn't have any social media accounts and is basically all about business, so that's a great sign that he'll at least work hard on improving his handles. Now, let's talk about his defense. He has some potential of being a pest and a disruptor of passing lanes with his length and motor. He had an okay steal rate of 1.4 as he likes to poke away steals when he sees an opportunity to do so. Currently, he's a better off-ball defender than on-ball. He positions himself well to stick with his man, is also ready to help his teammate out on the perimeter in order to prevent dribble penetration. He runs back in transition to prevent easy shots and also tags along with his man to prevent open threes. He'll occasionally get beat on backdoor cuts, but that's common for any college freshman really. His on-ball defense is passable, but is still going to need some improvement at the pro level. From watching some of his clips, it was a mixed bag. At times, he held his own one-on-one against quicker players, like in this clip right here. But on the flip side, he also got beat off the dribble a lot. He's not the quickest laterally, and per numerous scouting reports, he tends to go for steals far too often. Again, he has a length and the potential of filling out his frame to physically improve in this area. But as of right now, Houston's on-ball defense is something that the development staff with the Lakeland Magic will be tasked with improving. Another area of improvement in Houston's game is his finishing around the rim. He tends to throw up a lot of wild shots under duress. I guess that's down to him being not a great vertical athlete. He shot an average 55% on nearly 70 attempts at the rim last season. Now, we don't need to develop an advanced layup package like Markelle, but there's no reason why he can't become a decent finisher at the rim, especially on closeouts with his height and length. And the last bit of major concern about his game right now is inconsistency. Just skim through his game log. You'll find some goose eggs and 2-point outings mixed in with some solid 15 to 20 point games. It's alarming that in some games he'd be aggressive and in others, usually on the road, he'd go completely missing and barely attempt any shots. Check this stat out. Houstan shot a blistering 48% from 3 at home at Ann Arbor, but shot just 27% on the road. He also shot significantly better during wins. Observing these stats, there could be some confidence issues that he needs to resolve. Maybe he lets his emotions get the best of him during pressure-packed situations on the road. Now, I know what y'all really want to know is, what's his role going to be with the Magic in the short term? Well, first of all, I think the Magic were the perfect landing spot for him in the draft. You see, we have a lot of guards that are going to get him the ball where he needs it. We don't need him to create for himself, as our various playmakers will create shots for him. Caleb just needs to move off the ball well to get open, and either one of Markelle, Paolo, Franz, Jalen, WCJ, etc. will find him. I'm expecting Caleb to at least get a 2-way contract, or hopefully a guaranteed one if he shines during Summer League. He'll most likely spend the majority of the next season, with the Lakeland Magic. He'll get call-ups during home games as an injury replacement, or during certain matchups where his shooting could be needed. You could put him in a game right now and he won't negatively impact your team. He plays within the system and won't try to do anything that he's not capable of doing. Count on Caleb to stand in the corner, space the floor, and spot up auto kickouts. In addition, his off-ball movements such as backdoor cuts will make him a weapon for all our playmakers to utilize. Coach Mosley should experiment with how well he handles coming off pin downs and shooting out the dribble. I think Houstan could get call-ups during the dog days of the season where his peskiness and energy on defense will be needed. His translatable shooting mechanics is why I do feel like he's going to get some burn next year, because spacing will be our biggest issue again next year, even if we add a shooter through free agency. Furthermore, Houstan will be another lengthy wing that Jamal Mosley could try it out on defense, and he'll blend in well with our current roster. His addition to our lineup will also create some pressure for Chuma Kiki and RJ Hampton to perform. Iron sharpens iron, and healthy competition is something that talented young players need in order to get motivated to work hard and claim their spot on the roster. Chuma especially had a down year last season, and part of it could be blamed on his back injury after a strong rookie campaign, and it's going to be good for his development to see someone looking over his shoulder and gunning for a spot. To finish off, Caleb Houstan was a rare second-round pick that was kept by the current Magic regime. He's a big wing with a sweet jumper, which will be hard to contest with his quick and high release. He has some untapped potential that could be realized if he improves his dribbling significantly, finishing around the rim, and adds some strength. He has some tools to work with that will help set the platform of a lengthy NBA career, like his shooting and playmaking. Even if his ceiling caps as a 3-and-D specialist, his selection would be of great value as the majority of second round or even late first round picks does not amount to much. His shooting ability could help fill a huge need for us and could also help save a lot of cap space down the line, as there wouldn't be a huge need to overpay for a 3-and-D player through free agency. I'm personally going to root for Houstan because he's Canadian, and yeah, if y'all don't know already, I think I mentioned it in my first ever video, I'm a Canadian Magic fan and I'm going to root for every Canadian that plays on my favorite team. Shout out Kareem Mané, Michael Mulder, and of course, magical icons Andrew Nicholson and Ken Birch. But yeah, that's the end of the video. If this video helped you learn more about Caleb Houstan and brought some value, then please simply like and share this video or subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I just want more Magic content to be circulated around the NBA universe because us Magic fans receive a lot of flack for not being more present. Thanks for all the support and look out for more videos dropping real soon. Peace and go Magic.